Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this edition of Soul Food Sunday, I wanted to talk about how all things are possible with those who believe. So let's look at our Bibles in Mark chapter 9 and it's verse 23. And this is what Jesus says. It says, Jesus said to him, "If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes." I encourage you to go back and read the story. And it was talking about, the story was basically about a little boy who was sick, and Jesus healed him. And I'm not going to kind of go into the details. Like I said, you can go back and read it. But Jesus said, he said, if you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes. Who believes. What does belief mean? Belief means faith. You guys, we have got to have the faith. Jesus can't make the move if you don't believe. That's the first step, is faith. So what is faith? Let's look in the Bible. Let's go to Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." So faith, or believing in something that you're hoping for, but you have not seen it yet. So if we go back to our verse in Mark, Jesus said, okay, he says, if you can believe or you have faith, all things are possible. Remember, God, our God, is a supernatural. He's an all-powerful God. He can do anything. He did so many different miracles in the Bible. There is so many different stories you can read on the miracles and the things that he did, you know, but you've got to have the faith. You've got to believe. That's number one. It didn't say, oh, he can do some. It said all. All things are possible with those who believe. So we have to believe, and you know, we've got to have the faith. That's most important. That's the most important thing. We've got to have the faith. We got to believe, and we got to know that God can do this for us. I have a quick testimony of how God helped me in my life. It was probably what, this was in 2015. So I had applied for a position at my job, and I really thought this position was going to be a great fit for me. So I had my initial interview with the hiring manager, and she said, I'm trying to get somebody in this role. And so, you know, the person that she's going to hire, she'd probably talk with them probably at the end of March, beginning of April. A couple weeks kind of went by and I didn't hear anything. And typically in an interview, you know, if a couple weeks go by and you have not heard anything and you've already had your interview, that is not a good sign. And I remember talking to my dad about it, and he just said, Sarah, continue to stay in faith. And I mean, I'm going to tell you, when I was in the situation, and like I said, I wasn't hearing anything, I'm like, oh my gosh, come on. I know it's for me. I'm believing, but you know, my faith did get a little weary on there. But my dad encouraged me, and he told me, hey, you need to stay in faith on it. And so I did stay in faith. And so right around the time when she said I would hear something, I didn't hear anything, but her manager, the hiring manager's boss, actually called me, and come to find out, the hiring manager had some personal situations going on, but she said, Sarah, hey, I just want to let you know you're one of the top 2 candidates for this position. She said there were like 30 to 40 applicants that applied, but you're one of the top people, candidates. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, look, God is already working in it. And so I think maybe later on the week, it was maybe a week or so, you know, went by, and they told me that I didn't get that position. However, they were going to create a position for me. So look how God works. And that's why I said we have to stay in faith. We have to believe. And sometimes too, we also have to be open to a direction where God may be working things out around you. So, you know, yeah, I did not get the position that I applied for, but God was working it, so they created a position for me. And I said, oh my gosh, when I finally got that offer, I was like, look at God, look at how he's working, you know. And so, you know, yes, my faith did waver a little bit, but I had to stick it out. I had to pray and continue to believe that God was going to do the right thing for me. And that's what we have to do, guys. We have to know that we are God's children, and he's our Father. He wants the best for us in every single area of our life. And so with that being said, yes, we have to have the faith. We have to believe. We have to do the work. But we have to know at the end of the day that God is going to do the right thing for us. How do you build your faith? How do you build your faith? Staying in the Word and praying to God and talking to God on an everyday basis, going to church, studying your Bible. This builds up your faith. And so, you know, when you have these situations and things that come about in your life, you're able to, hey, have the faith in it and believe and know that God's going to do the right thing in your life. And so that's the message that I want to talk about today, is just know that with God, all things are possible, but you most importantly have to believe, have to have the faith, know that God's going to provide for you. I hope this message encourages someone. Leave your comments and questions below, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.